Okay, since this is like super important, this is like kind of like a little sliced down, straight to the meat of the matter version of the hour and 45-minute video. This is just focusing on the really weird night. This was March 19th, 2019. Uh, if you want to hear the background to how I ended up in this situation, you got to watch that hour and 40-minute video. You don't have to watch the whole. It's like up to like 40. The first 40 minutes covers all this weird shit, and the rest is talking about Hitler and COVID. I mean, you should check it out, though. I mean, you're all about to be fucking enslaved. I mean, like you'd be an idiot not to watch this shit. And I'm not trying to become some fucking internet celebrity. I don't even think I'm gonna be alive in 2 or 3 days. Honestly, I'm gonna be a fucking human sacrifice. So let me tell you why. Okay, so I was looking into some chick that got murdered. Okay, this homeless girl got murdered, and there was a bunch of weird symbols around where they found her body. The police covered it up, and I kept digging into it. So coming back from the bar one night, I took a shortcut and I happened to go right by where they found her body. Okay, I'm on my way there, and so I'm walking by these train tracks, and I'm a little buzzed up. I'm not super fucking trashed or anything. I've never seen it. I'm an alcoholic. I ain't never seen shit like this on booze before, and I've been drinking for 20 years. So I'm walking down the tracks. I look up in the sky. And there's this big fucking Eye of Sauron looking fucking thing in the sky. I'm like, okay, what's that? I thought it was like a light on a building or something. I didn't until I noticed it was like moving. It was like following me. like I'm thinking this is supposed to be me. Excuse my crappy photoshops. I'm like, the fucking fuck is that? Okay, it's down here. I'm gonna speed through this because I'm trying to make some short videos so people actually watch them, and maybe you'll watch my longer videos, and maybe you'll save the fucking human race from enslavement. It's all up to you. I'm gonna be dead soon. This right here, this is known as Fomalhaut. It's a star. I think this was taken with the Hubble Space Telescope. Okay, notice anything? Eye of Sauron, Fomalhaut. Eye of Sauron, Fomalhaut. Okay, right here, mal. That's the root of the word malice or evil. Mal. Mal is French for evil. Okay, notice how similar this thing looks to the Eye of Sauron. It's because it literally is the Eye of Sauron. It's the Eye of Satan. Okay, it might even be Satan. I think it's like literally like Satan's equivalent of the sun. Like, and I don't want to go too big into Gnosticism, but the Gnostics believe that the sun, soul, is one of the eyes of God, one of many eyes of God. Sirius the dog star being another, but let's not talk about that because it gets weird. So I'm freaking out. I see this thing. I'm freaking out. I'm like, what the hell? Oh, there's this big pink glowing orb too I seen, but I forgot to copy the image over, so I'm gonna skip right to this part. So I'm freaking the fuck out. I'm running. There's this ladder by this abandoned building. I climb up this thing. I get to the top. And I see, so weird. I've never had anything like this happen to me in my life, by the way. And I've done a lot of drugs. I've never seen anything like this, tripping balls or anything. I've seen a lot of shadow cast before, but nothing like this. I was just drunk. Remember, I was just boozing up. You don't hallucinate from 3 shots of whiskey and a 6-pack after I just ate a big steak dinner at the bar. So I get on this roof. My plan was I didn't know what the thing was that I had just seen. I was freaking out, and I figured I'd just climb up this ladder, run across the building, jump over the side. I get to the top of this building. These things come out one by one. They look like frickin' Naruto shadow ninjas. I hear a voice in my head. First one, Marquis de Sade. If you don't know who that is, Google it. Second one comes out, another voice in my head, same voice, Genghis Khan. I'm like, okay. Third one comes out, oddly enough, Jimmy Hoffa, the Teamster boss that got murdered. He was too powerful. I don't understand why he is with these guys, because the guys that murdered him are the ones that are, backing the devil to enslave you. But anyway, so I'm like, okay, this is weird. I thought maybe I hit my head or something. I don't know. I didn't know what to think at this point. Well, okay, so shadow dudes go running by. So they're like, what the heck was that? And then it gets really super weird. This thing appears out of nowhere. Ignore this guy for now. He wasn't there. This thing appears out of nowhere. It looks like a Star Wars droid floating like 3-4 feet off the ground. Back and forth, like it's patrolling. I'm like, cool. That's great. Obviously, somebody drugged my drink and I'm hallucinating. So then this thing materializes. This is like 10 feet in front of my face. This thing materializes out of thin air, and I'm looking at it. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. A giant 40-foot tall, 30, 40-foot tall set of scales just appeared out of thin air, and it's sitting there right in front of me. Voice in my head says, we are guardians. Now, in Latin, quis custodia ipso custodis, it means who will guard the guardians. This was popularized by Alan Moore in his Watchmen series. Now, he translates it as who will watch the watchmen, but the ideal translation is who will watch the watchers, okay? So these are, I think, I've surmised this. Pretty sure this one here is Raguel, the Archangel of Balance. And I'm not entirely certain about this guy here, but I came to this conclusion because he, Sariel, accompanies Raguel. These are the two angels that brought Enoch to heaven while still living. I believe the other one was Sariel. Okay, while these things are manifested, this military plane flies overhead, like shining a spotlight down on me, like they knew I was there. They were filming this. This was all this big weird setup. It was weird. Okay, so I'm up on top of that building. I'm freaking the fuck out, and there's like this trap door thing. This is like in this abandoned building thing, so I kick this hole in this roof and I dump down in there, and it's like this big weird abandoned fucking building that shouldn't have been abandoned or something. I don't know. I don't want to get into it. It's weird. So I'm running around in this thing looking for an exit. I'm freaking out. I thought I was getting abducted by aliens. I'm freaking the fuck out. I'm running around looking for the exit. Like I'm running into this spot. It's like this downward sloping tunnel. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It shouldn't be here. So, it's me. I'm running. So, you know, I see this fucking, I thought it was a statue at first, just standing there. Just standing there like this. Like that. It looked almost fucking identical to this guy. This is a Super Friends Solomon Grundy action figure, but this is literally what he looked like. He had long hair, though, and his clothes weren't all ripped up. They were impeccably tailored. He's a man of wealth and taste and distinction, quite assuredly. Well, a couple weeks before this happened, at this same location, I was with a buddy of mine, and I had this weird, I don't know, I felt like I was possessed, and I was like, 2 weeks from now, I will see the enemy of mankind in this very spot. And I was like, what the hell is that? You know, watch the other video if you want to know more about it. So I'm standing there staring at this dude. He's like 14 feet tall, 2,000 pounds. I'm thinking it's a statue, okay? And then all of a sudden, a voice in my head. It's the voices in my thoughts, though, but I believe these were separate entities communicating telepathically. And it says, this is the only time you'll see me face to face. This is when I knew this thing was real, okay? This is Azazel. That's who that is. It's the enemy of mankind. It's the Archangel of Death. His name means Archangel of Death, dude who hates God, rebel against God. He's chaos. He is the chaos, as Vinny Paz would say. What's up, Vinny? It's cool seeing you in that bar. I knew that was you, dude. I ain't dumb. I can smell you guys a mile away. You know that, right? Now, pretty sure his real name's Korn. Now, it's from, you know, like, Korn's from Warhammer. Yeah, I know. But they hide truth and fiction because they think you're idiots, okay? Pretty sure his real name is Corazon. This is a demon that Crowley was communicating with, that they were working really hard to, you know, bring into our reality. Okay. Now remember these names, because these names have power. Names have power. It's just like that Rumpelstiltskin thing, okay? Names have power. Oops. Move this over here. Names contain power now. Who this guy really is, I'm pretty sure, is Nimrod, okay? Or Enmerkar, I spelled it wrong there, but Nimrod's name pretty much means rebel against God, dude who hates God, great hunter against God, great hunter against the Lord. Pretty sure they're one and the same guy, okay? Now, when we went to Iraq, you know, you can probably still find a little bit about this online if you dig deep enough, but they've been scrubbing search results big time. So, reason for the Iraq war wasn't about oil, wasn't about defending Kuwait or taking out Saddam Hussein. We put Hussein into power in the 70s to fight Iran. I mean, it's a big shit show. Everything's this big fucking Hegelian dialectic shit show, okay? We were really there to look for biblical artifacts, pre-flood artifacts, Sumerian artifacts. You got to understand, Iraq is where Babylon. Iraq is literally where the Garden of Eden was. You know, it was in between the Tigris and the Euphrates. You know, there's a lot of weird shit in Iraq. You know, Hussein, I'm assuming, started discovering a lot of stuff. You know, he started excavating Babylon. I'm pretty sure he found some stuff. We probably had some guys, you know, double agents there in his regime that were feeding us information. We're like, oh shit, he found something. We got to get over there. There used to be this. I read this on this military website, and this guy, he said he was part of a team. It was like a support team. They were supporting like a black ops group. They were searching for the Tomb of Nimrod. Okay, pretty sure what happened is they found the Tomb of Nimrod, and they cloned this giant body. Okay, and if you watch it, there's an episode of American Dad. They're talking about Bullock, or Avery, Avery Bullock, the CIA head, played by Patrick Stewart. He comes walking in. They're all talking about genetic engineering. He's like, "We cloned a giant corn," and he's holding this big ear of corn. This is what they're talking about. This is their little secret language that they put in your face because you're an idiot. You're all stupid, they think. Are you? Are you that stupid? I'm not. Oh, no, actually, I'm probably even dumber than all y'all because, you know, I'm a dead man for talking about this, but I don't know what else to do. They're going to kill me either way, so, I mean, if I could save a few lives, save a few souls, I'm going to do it, you know. And I ain't got nothing against the guy. I think he's a bad motherfucker. He's cool as hell, in all honesty. You know, I respect his hustle. He's a fucking gangster as fuck. Now, his dad's name was Kush. Okay, you ever smoked that strain of weed? Ever heard of it? OG Kush. You know what that comes from? Original Gangster Kush, because Kush was the original gangster, okay? But let's not get into that too deep. Anyways, I'm staring at this fucking dude, and I'm like, okay, that's awesome. This is freaking me out. This is Order Abcow, Order Out of Chaos. It's the Eye of, they call it the Eye of Providence. It's the Eye of Fomalhaut, the Eye of Satan. I'm pretty sure this is like his god, or his eye. I don't know. They're either the same guy, or he's like one rank below this guy. I'm not really entirely certain. Like, if you look at the dollar bill and they got that Eye of Providence there, and there's a little gap, that's because this thing is above everything. Like, whatever this thing is, it's above it. It might even be God. I don't know. Maybe Satan is God. I don't know. I don't really. He's not the monad, though. I know they get mad when I say that, but he knows. He knows he knows of the pleroma and stuff, you know. And I don't really want to get into Gnosticism because it's really complicated and it's weird. But anyways, so I'm staring at this dude and I'm freaking out about it. You know, I pull a switchblade on him, start rapping at him, you know, thinking, you know, okay, I'm gonna get eaten by a giant monster. Okay, so I'm battle rapping. I pull the switchblade. This is like a $90 switchblade I just bought. The thing literally falls apart. The guy, he can manipulate reality. He's a fucking quantum awesome magic dude. Okay, he's a badass. His pineal gland is probably like that big around. Okay, now after that, after my switchblade fell apart, I'm like, okay, I gotta exit stage right, you know. So I go running around. I run around the corner. There's a door. I go flying out the door. I end up in this Pentecostal church. It was just, I didn't even know it was a church. It looked like another abandoned building. Like, this whole complex it's an abandoned paper mill. Like, I mean, everything was all run down, boarded up. It looked all abandoned. So I'm running, and I kick in this, like, boarded up door, you know, and I smack dab in the middle of this, like, satanic revelry. There's all these black dudes and chicks rolling around on the floor, waving their hands, you know, talking in tongues. They come up to me, and they're all putting their hands on me, and then the cops show up, and like, hey, Jason, we've been expecting you. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty weird. So they take me to jail, you know, and they're doing booking, and I tell them, I'm like, yo, I'm having chest pains. I must have hit my head. I've been seeing weird stuff. I think somebody maybe drugged me. I need medical attention. Take me to the local hospital I've been to 20, 30 times. You know, I'm in there, and there's like 15 cops in the room. I've never seen this ward. Been in there 15, 20 times. Never seen this part of the hospital. And they bring me up there, and there's all this medical staff. And I remember the one doctor had a name tag on it. It said Jason Dick. I think that was kind of like a little fucking inside joke they were playing on me, because they wheel this black dude in on a gurney, and they have me fucking watch him get castrated and start telling me about, like, cut dicks off to use them for magic. I was like, yeah, you burn them in braziers, the flame turns blue, and you can talk to demons. And the guy's like, ha ha ha, how do you know that? I'm like, yeah, I studied the occult too, man. You know, and That's why they don't like me, because I know about this stuff and I'm not supposed to. Like, and so they're all telling me they killed Kennedy, killed Hoffa, they run the world, Satan's God, they're taking over, there ain't nothing we can do about it, blah blah blah. And I'm like, that's great, dude. Good for you guys. I'm really glad that you guys are, all about that life. It's cool. I don't give a fuck. I just want to go back to work. I was supposed to be starting college in a few weeks, and this kind of like screwed up my screwed up my life. So whatever. They're gonna screw my life up. I might as well fight back the only way I know how. Talking smack. Not really. I mean, I respect these guys. I just don't like the whole like take over the world, enslave humanity, and turn it into a satanic dystopian hellscape. Because dude, aren't you better than that, man? Like, I know you did a lot of time. I mean, this guy, he got locked up for like 3,500 years. The Archangel Raphael stuck him in this pocket dimension, and they used CERN. Real quick about CERN. I'm gonna make a whole video about CERN if I have time. I'm gonna try to crank out as much content as I can, because I don't think I'm gonna be alive much longer. I'm pretty sure they're gonna kill me in a few days, and if not, I know it's coming. I mean, it's coming. I've had hundreds of death threats in the last year. Like literally hundreds of death threats. Random people, coast to coast. I've been East Coast to the West Coast in the last year, and I've been getting death threats everywhere I went. And people, you need to be afraid, be very afraid. I'm too dumb to be afraid, Fucking, so, I'm just like, okay, whatever, you guys run the world, it's awesome. So, they take me back to the jail, stick me in the cell. I'm sitting in the cell. Imagine me laying right there, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? This is weird. I didn't know if I've never had anything like this happen to me in my life. I've seen some weird stuff when I was a kid, but nothing like this. On a side note, I forgot to mention this in the longer video. This is weird. When I was a little kid, I used to have nightmares, a recurring nightmare about that dude, that giant dude. It was me as an adult, seeing me as a child, seeing a giant that looked just like that guy sitting on a throne made of skulls of other giants on a Red Dead world. Like, literally, anything green was gone. It looked like the surface of Mars or maybe Mercury. But what's weird is, like, I'm looking at this guy, and in my head, I'm 6, 7 years old. A kid that young shouldn't be having dreams like this. I thought I was looking at myself, like another version of myself. I don't know what that means, but it was either him or his enemy, his great enemy, or I don't know. I don't really know. I just thought I'd add that because I thought it was curious. Anyway, so I'm sitting in this jail cell, and this frickin' female shadow appears on the ground with a bunch of weird writing above it. It looked like it was Greek. One of the words looked like Christos. It's like the only Greek word I recognize. And I'm sitting there looking at this thing like, okay, what the hell is that? Now imagine this thing is like, not in a profile, but like facing, I was sitting here looking down, and it's like facing me. It starts pulling bits of garbage together into a smiley face. And then on this wall right over here, it looked like the silhouette of Osiris, Isis, and Tethys. Tethys being Set's wife, Isis being Osiris's wife, Osiris being the Egyptian sun god. And Set don't like Osiris too much because Tethys was his wife, and he found out that they were having threesomes together, so he's pretty pissed. So I don't know, maybe that was like Isis or something. I don't know, it was weird. It's this weird shadow chick. But those shadows, I forgot to get into this, okay? In the Greek translation of the Bible, the Septuagint, they call ghosts shades. Shade is another word for shadow. That's what ghosts are, they're shadows. If you do go on Google and do some searches, you're going to find a lot of people talking about shadow people right now, okay? That show Robot Chicken, Seth Green, he named his company Shadow Machine, okay? He's talking about CERN. It's literally about CERN. CERN is the shadow machine. They're ripping dimensional rifts into Sheol, the realm of the dead and the damned, and they're allowing these spirits to invade our reality, and they're possessing people. And this has a lot to do with COVID right now. I really suggest you watch that long video. The whole thing was really building up to my COVID thing. If you start watching it at let me see. I really suggest you do this because you guys got to know this stuff. Like, or you're going to die. You're literally going to die or be enslaved or lose your soul. Any one of those isn't a good thing. If you want to see the long video, it's like an hour and 40 minutes. The COVID stuff starts at about an hour into it. I really suggest watching the whole thing. There's a lot of weird stuff that I've seen in But anyways, pretty sure this is what's going to happen to me here soon. It is what it is, you know. But I don't know. They seem to think I'm somebody I don't think I am. But if I am, that means afterwards I'm gonna get my revenge. But I don't want to. I don't even like thinking about that. I'm really trying to understand why the hell the devil has some kind of beef with me. Because I don't got no problem with him. I think he's pretty cool. He's interesting. I mean, he's pretty cool. You know, I just wish he'd chill out. I mean, I understand he's pissed. He's really angry. He did a lot of fucking prison time. I've done prison time too, nowhere near as much as him, but I'm also not a fucking 14 foot tall, 2,000 pound monster, man. I'm 5'6", 170. You know, I'm in a super max prison. I got set up on this heroin case, which I might have talked about that in another video if I have time. But I got set up. Like, these people have been fucking with me for years, and I just realized it recently. Like, they've literally been fucking with me for years. You know. It don't bother me, though. I mean, I'm pretty, you know, it's like, oh, whatever. I know where I'm going when I die. I'm going to heaven. I'm going to make a video about scientifically proving God, the existence of God, and then my experience with DMT where I seen heaven. It's beautiful. The sun has a smiley face, the trees dance, the animals talk to you. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And their goal is to take that from you and keep you locked here in their matrix, reincarnating endlessly throughout fucking history, throughout time. Time's a loop. It's a time loop. It's the Ouroboros, these, you know, self-eating snake. It's a representation of time. You know, it repeats itself, and we're stuck in a time loop right now. And they're trying to bring to pass the ancient future. They're trying to bring back the heyday of Atlantis, which was a necromancer, pedophile, cannibal, magic empire. It wasn't a good place to be a human being. I mean, if you weren't part of the club, you were cattle. You were a slave. They're trying to bring it back. They've been literally working for thousands of years to bring this back. And you know, the last time this happened, that was when the flood occurred. You know, these dudes were all running around. There's tons of them. You know, running around eating people all the time, eating each other. You know, you really should read the Book of Enoch. It gives context to all of this. You know, it really gives context to everything that's happening today. You know, so, well, that's what I had to say about this. This was weird. This was a weird experience for me, you know, and I don't understand why he has a problem with me. Everyone in the world, why would he reveal himself to me? Why would I have known 2 weeks in advance that I was going to see this guy in this place? Why does it feel like my entire life has been like this series of scripted events? You know? I ain't got no problem with anyone. I ain't got no beef with anyone in this world. I'm just a simple man. You know, I'm just a simple, try to be good. I've done a lot of bad things, but I ain't never done no evil, really. I mean, well, I don't know. I've done some pretty, I used to be pretty gangster in my 20s, you know. I mean, I deserved to go to prison, I ain't gonna lie, but, you know, I got out and I found God. Actually, it was because of this situation that I found God. It was after I seen that dude. That's when I realized, hey, wait a minute, God's real. If this dude's real, God's real. You know, and that's pretty much what I had to say. I really recommend you watch my other videos. And I'm not trying to do this to make money or be a YouTube celebrity or anything like that. But if anybody watches this and, you know, in the next day or two could get a hold of me, I seek immortality at protonmail.com. Let me put my contact info up on the screen, because I need help. I really need help, guys. They're gonna kill me. And if I die, you guys have literally no hope. I'm the only one that knows how to fight this shit. I'm literally the only person. You can talk all the shit you want. Be like, oh, you think you're so I don't think I'm fucking special, man. I don't. I just spent 20 years studying weird shit. That's all it is. I just know a lot about weird stuff, and they apparently think that I can be a problem for them, and I don't want to be a problem. I don't want to be a problem for anyone. I want to be a solution. Like, there's this cartoon I really liked on I think it was on Comedy Central, but it was like about like the world, like demons show up, and instead of like destroying mankind and enslaving them, they just kind of integrated with society, and they could drop the veil and be themselves, and they had like jobs, and they were working, owning businesses, and they didn't have to keep up the freaking the lies. I mean, once you're free from all the lies, you can be yourself, and nobody's. You guys aren't all evil all the time. I know you guys like to think of that, but you guys have done a lot of good for the world. I mean, you've provided a lot of interesting things, a lot of balance. You guys, you're not all evil. Anyways, it's my email. I seek immortality at protonmail.com. Oh yeah, my Telegram, Jack the Hammer. If you want to call me or text me or something, that's my cell, 218-203-8970. I'm trying to get the money to get a plane ticket to get out of here in the next day or two. I'm in danger. You're in danger. The world's in danger. We're all in danger. These guys are even in danger. They don't want to admit it. They don't think God's watching, but they literally think God abandoned us, but that's not what happened. The quiet is still watching. What else has it got to do? What do you think it has better to do? It wants to see, and they're using CERN and gematria and all these computers to predict the future and stuff. And one of these videos, I'll show you how to predict the future with gematria magic if I have time. But you guys know as well as I do, there's multiple timelines. Well, let me zoom in on this. You can. Oh, I guess I can't. Yeah. Anyways. Telegram, Jack the Hammer, email, I seek immortality at protonmail.com, phone 218-203-8970. My name's Jason. I'm going to be a human sacrifice if you don't help me.